Hello, I'm Penny from Essence and welcome to today's segment. We're talking about the nature of human nature. Now, when we're talking about marketing, we at Essence fundamentally believe that it's all about commitment. Getting somebody to commit to something different tomorrow than they did yesterday, whether it be behaving in a different way, buying a different product, believing something different. So how does that actually happen? Well, it's pretty tricky because the actual core of human nature is actually one that does not like change, is very happy with how they're feeling, is very happy with the decisions that they're making. And sometimes even when it's for their own good, or even if it's actually a better option, people still find it really difficult to change. So there's a couple of things we want to point out about human nature to bear this in mind. So let me give you an example. My father was a lifelong drinker, smoker and gambler, not a very healthy man. And it was about August, it was a Tuesday night, about 10 years ago now. I remember getting a phone call from my mum saying, Dad's had a heart attack and he's on his way to the hospital, just meet him there. So I jumped into the car and I drove to the hospital. He's absolutely fine, so we don't need to worry about him. But when I got there, we were confronted with the usual aspect that you would see in any hospital emergency department. My father was hooked up to various items of drips, and he was in the hospital bed and he was being pushed down towards the cardiac ward. Now, as we were progressing down the cardiac ward, the admissions nurse was filling out the paperwork. She was asking all of the important questions: name, age, do you have private health insurance, that kind of thing. And when she got to the bit about, are you a smoker, sir? My father looked her in the face and he said, no. Now, I was horrified and turned to him straight away and said, Dad, you are so. And he looked at me and he looked at the nurse and he said, well, I just gave up. Now, I think when you think about human nature, this is the way that people are. We don't give up smoking until we're being wheeled into the cardiac ward. We don't seek marriage guidance counselling until someone is sleeping on the couch. And we don't finish the very last bit of the house, the last bit of the tiling, the last bit of the gardening, paint that little bit in the corner of the shed until the open for inspection is Saturday. That is the nature of human nature. We wait until we are absolutely on the precipice of disaster before we act. So I think for most marketing companies, the key thing that we've learned at Essence is we need to act. We don't need to wait until we have all of the data or all of the information. We can't wait until we have every piece of evidence before we start. And evidence base is an important part of any solid marketing effort, but we need to understand that the future is taking action. That's if we want to see a change in human nature. Here at Essence, we like to think that we understand human nature and we understand these issues and we understand the ambivalence of many people to committing to doing something differently tomorrow than they did yesterday. So we have a whole range of tools and insights and thinking about how to get your audience to commit, understanding that very important factor of human nature. Thanks for joining us here at Essence. See you again.